Hello everyone, and welcome to another RC review. Today we are going to take a look at the VolantexRC Firstar plane. This is meant to be as a trainer plane. It's also a glider plane, and it has a pusher configuration. It has the motor here on a pod, and it's a pusher type. This will make it very easy to control, and this does not have any kind of stabilization or any kind of flight controller. You just manually control all the surfaces of it, and that's all. But this should be easy to pilot. We are going to see that if it's true or not. First, I'm going to tell you a few things about this. So there are a lot of options but available for this model. This does not come with a transmitter. You can see here on the box there is a 3-channel version, a 4-channel version, a ready to fly, plug and play version, and so on. It's a brushed version, a brushless version, so you have a lot of options. This is the brushless version, but it's let's call it bind and fly, because it does not have a receiver, it does not have a transmitter, and it does not have a battery and charger. It has a ESC, it has the servos installed, it has the motor and the propeller, and that's all. So you need to install your own transmitter and receiver and battery to be able to fly it. So let's move on. We are going to do all that in this first episode. The second episode, of course, will be with its maiden flight. But in this first part, we are going to take a close look at it, install what is needed, and prepare it for a flight. And in this manual, you get a lot of good instructions and lots of pictures. You don't need to do all of the setup steps described here, because some of the parts are already installed, but you do need to follow them, because there are some steps that we are going to need to follow, because the plane it's not fully assembled, and you will see that in a moment. You also get here tips how to fly it, how to hand launch it, how to take off from grass. A very nice manual, a very good manual. You don't see that a lot in Chinese products, so the manual is really great. You also get this paper full of stickers, so you can stick them on the wings, on the fuselage, if you want to. So this is the main wing, the front wing, and what's nice about it, it has reinforcement, and also the control surfaces have carbon fiber rods for reinforcement, so this will make them really tough, and they will not deform. But you will see that you don't have any kind of means to connect the servos to them, and you are going to have to install those by yourself. No problem with that, because you get them all in one bag, as you can see here. So you get all that is needed, including screws and a screwdriver, which is decent in size, so you can call it toolless install, because you don't need to provide your own tools. Well, let's see what else we get in the back, in the box. So it's the other control surface and tail of the aircraft. Of course, it uses reinforcement, and it has some plastic inserts here, and the aircraft body, which looks like this. I like its finish, although it's made from foam. It has a kind of smoothing added to it. It's very smooth. Let me try to adjust. I don't know if you can see. You can see its texture, but it's like it has been sprayed with some kind of paint over, or I don't know, clear coat, because you can't feel the material. It's just like a piece of shiny plastic, which is nice. And you can see here inside it has the servos there. it's a servo which has two control rods. This will go to the main wing, the front wing, and in the back you have the rudder already installed, connected, and this is for the tail. You already have one here. This is put through the fuselage through a plastic cable. It has a pass-through channel here, and of course the canopy, which is held by a magnet and a clip in front, and that will grant you access inside. And inside you get the wires from the servos. Here you get two servos, two separate servos. These are for the tail control, and this one is for the main wing. And each servo has its own lead, of course. And this is the ESC. The ESC has no label on it, but this is a 10 amps ESC. It will take a 2S LiPo battery and comes with a JST plug, and you need to provide your own battery. So you need at least a 4-channel receiver to make this fly, because you need to control 3 servos and the ESC, and we are going to install that in a moment. Moving on to the motor now. The motor is, as you can see, has a rating of 4000 kV, and its size is 2208, and it has the propeller already attached to it, and the propeller is just a push type in propeller. It doesn't have any kind of screw, it doesn't have any kind of means for fixation. It's just pushed in, and that's all. And it has this small cap to make it look nice, but this is not really held in place very well, so probably this will fall from the first flight, but I don't know. I'm just going to leave it on, and if I lose it, I'm going to lose it. Not a big issue, especially because this is a pusher type airplane. The nose cone of this propeller is not really that important, because it pushes air. It doesn't have to be aerodynamically from the rear. Alright, so I can tell you that I have lied you, because to fully set up this plane you are going to need your own tool, and that is a cutter, because to insert the rear wing you need to do some cuts here, because the wing does not go through this hole, but it will slide in, and you need to make a way for it to go in. So you need to cut these small pieces here to make space for it to go in. And let me try to adjust the camera. You can see it has some marks here and here, and also on the other side here and here, and those are for where you need to cut. And after you cut that, you can insert the tail of the aircraft, which I'm going to do. Also for the main wing, there's no secret of how to install it. You don't need special tools. This just slides in, very easy. And it's just like that. And on the rear you can see the wing has some things that will hold it in place. You need to be careful with these rods and gently and evenly make it go in, and it will lock into place. And that was it. It's going to be secured by these notches here and here and also here. So the wing, it's fixed very well, it will not come out. And now you need to install the servo horns for each wing and for the tail. That is very easy also. You get all that is needed here, from the screws to the horns, and they also have plastic back plates which will make the whole assembly more tough. It will resist better in time, so that's very nice. I'm now going to make the cuts that are needed. And on the other side also. And that was quick and easy. And now I can insert my tail in the position, and it's perfect. And to secure it, you have one long screw that will go through this hole here. Of course, the screw is provided, and with the screwdriver I'm now just going to secure it. And that it's done. I'm now going to show you how to install a servo horn, an example, because all of them installed in the same way. So you are going to need the horn itself, the back plate which secures it in place, and two screws. And it's very easy. You just need to decide where you want to start. The servo horn will go in this position, just like that. Let me try to adjust the camera a bit so you may observe it better. That should do it. So you can see this will go like that, and the connecting rod here, it's kind of a clip. You can open it and then choose where you want it to go through, and this has multiple holes here. There are for adjustment, and by selecting a hole here you actually adjust how much the travel will be of the control surface, and you can make it to fly more aggressively or more controllable. That's up to you. But to install it, you just need to fix it there. You are going to keep the back plate on the other side, but you can run the screw through it first. I'm gonna use the provided screwdriver, just like that. Now I'm just going to gently push it through the foam. The screw will get out on the other side. You can see it's here, and I'm going to close the joint with the back plate. I'm just going to hold it there in place and screw it on the other side until it gets fixed. And on diagonal I'm going to use a second screw. I'm not going to use 4 screws, 2 screws are enough for this, because it's a light plane with light control surfaces, with light servos. You don't need too much force, and of course you don't need too much weight. With the horns connected, you need to make a connection between the linkage here, and that is very easy. You're just going to pop this open, as you are going to see, and this is open. And now you are going to select a hole here on the horn through which your rod will go, and I'm going to choose not the first, not the second, but the third one. So not the last one, but more than half, and After that I'm going to pop it back in, and now it's connected to the servo, and I'm going to do the same for the remaining control surfaces. As you can see, it's very easy, and this is nice because you can adjust them on the field if you need to. Very easy, just pop them through the other hole, and that's all. As you can see, the tail is now at an angle, and that may be because of the servo or not, but we'll go to calibrating them in a moment, so you will see what the next step is. With all the mechanical linkages now connected, I'm going to install the battery, the receiver, and I'm going to set up the transmitter that I'm going to use with this plane. It's very important when you do such a kind of build. You need to reset the transmitter. You don't need to use any kind of substreams. You don't want to have different endpoints, so all those should be on default on 100%. You don't want to have adjustments already applied. You need it to be at 0 centered, because the servos will initiate in 0 position. After that you are going to mechanically tune the servos with these rods, because they have small adjustments, as you can see. For example, this rod here has a long threaded part, and you can use it to adjust the rudder to be straight when the servo is straight, when the transmitter is on a normal position. That is kind of a calibration which is very important, and when all the control surfaces are neutral and the remote is neutral, then you can really start to try to fly it, and then use the trimming buttons to adjust it if the airplanes pulls to one side and or has any kind of trajectory deviation. But you need to really start from center, so that is very important, and that is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to install the receiver. The receiver has the throttle channel is channel 3, and I'm going to use that. So 1, 2, 3, channel 3 is here. I don't know the servos where they will go, and I'm going to show you how easy it is on the FlySky transmitter to do that. If I power on the transmitter and I go to the menu settings, I already did a new profile for this plane, so I have named it First 7 because it's a Firstar, and it's 767-1 model, so I know how to find it in the menu very easy. And now if I go to the setup, if I go to the display, this remote will show me each stick what it's doing and on what channel, which is very nice. And I don't have any kind of mixes or some things like that, and it's not recommended for this model. So I can see here the stick which I'm going to use as throttle is on channel 3, and I'm going to use it also on channel 4 as a rudder. So the servo that moves the rudder, I'm going to find which of them is by slightly moving them. This one is for the rudder. This will go on to the channel 4 of the receiver, so I'm going to connect it to channel 4. Now for the ailerons and elevators, I'm going to use the remaining channel 1 and channel 2. All the wires are now connected, the servos and the ESC is connected to the receiver, so theoretically if I power it on using a small LiPo, I should have control not over the motor but also over the control surfaces. So I will do that just now. And I'm going to turn on the transmitter. And the ESC was initialized. The plane is now binded to the transmitter, and you can see I have control over it. Just going to put this battery here, and I also have rudder control, elevator control, so all it's working, and of course the motor, so that is just fine. And now with all the controls centered, I will take a look at my control surfaces, and from the start you can see the elevator is completely off. Also the ailerons are not perfectly lined up with the rest of the wings, so it needs the fine-tuning I was mentioning. You can see the rudder also has a bit of angle there, so I need to mechanically adjust these to make them as straight as possible, and to do that I'm going to use the holes in the servo horns and also the screw part here on each metal rod, so I will adjust them to be as level as possible, as normal centered, and only after that I can play with the transmitter trims and do fine tuning, of course, when it's in flight. Now all the control surfaces have been adjusted. They are in line with the wings, so that was easy to do, and you can see now this is straight, the rudder is straight, so all the ailerons, elevators are in line with the wings. To ease the setup even more, I have unscrewed these two servo arms here, position manually the control surfaces in their neutral position, and then put the servo arms back into that position, and of course to leave room for further adjustment, fine adjustment, I have set the rods here somewhere at the middle of the threaded part, so I can further increase or decrease the rod easily, and I've done that for all the tail control surfaces. The other ones didn't need adjustment from the internal servo. They only needed just a few turns of the rods, and they are lined up. So this was the main setup. Now I only need to find an appropriate battery. This has a recommended rating of 500 milliamps to 1 amp hour battery, a 2-cell battery, but you also need to take care of adjusting the center of gravity, which is very easy to do on this plane because you get it marked up here, so this line here and this line here, so you just put your fingers in these markings here. You can see it's also noticed here, CG, center of gravity, and just keep your fingers underneath on those signs, and you need to have it balanced. Now it's tail heavy because it doesn't have battery, but I need to find a battery that with the receiver and all the wires connected will keep it in level position, because otherwise it will be very difficult to be controlled. So this was the part 1, which I'm ending now. The second part will hopefully come soon with its maiden flight, of course. Until then, bye bye.